right, here's something a little different. This is Jax. He's part of the Tyrax group starter pack. They're the tech clan in LIGHTSEEKERS. It's a game. Apparently there was a Kickstarter a while back to produce these action figures in the game itself. There's also a corresponding trading card game with it as well. And just right off the bat, you can see he's very cool. You can see why it would appeal to me, being both a dinosaur and very orange. He's got kind of an orange and blue and silver and a couple different shades of blue. Action features. His tail comes detached. You have to plug that in. But just a fun little action figure. And I saw him at Toys R Us, and I was always interested in him. Like, if he were closer, he was like $30, I think, for just the base figure. And the whole starter pack was like $70. Which was a little pricey for an action figure, because he's in the same kind of scale as Marvel Legends. Like, here he is. He's in that 6-inch figure scale, a little bulkier. But like, here he is with Infinity War Spider-Man. With a Marvel Legends figure, just to give you an idea of about how big he is. He's a little bigger, a little chunkier. Granted, Spider-Man's a little on the lithe side of the figures, but still. But he's fun. He's got some points of articulation. He can turn his head side to side, kind of look up and down. His arms only have a limited range, and I'll explain why later. But so they don't go super high, but there is a range to the arms. The legs have a decent range of motion with clicky joints, both in and out here as well. So slightly posable, very strong and clicky ratchet, which is nice. And also, like I said, very cool just by himself. Now, the reason he's $30 and why the starter pack is $70 is because he is part of a game. They made it. You can play the game for free on an iPad, and it's a very simple. Go ahead and pull it up here. Hopefully, I turned the LEDs on since I tested this, so it may be a little glary, reflective. But open up your iPad, and then you open up the LIGHTSEEKERS game. He's the little face of the icon. And he's, like I said, he's cool. He's got more of a T-Rex-ish. He's got sharp, pointy teeth, but he has more of a kind of stylized Styracosaur head frill with these points, but really neat design on the thing. So here's the adventure game. And if you go into the adventure game, it connects to the server, and it's a very it's a little richer and deeper, at least from the Skylanders games I've played, but it's a very Skylanders-esque type of video game, and it usually doesn't take this long to connect. I don't know why this is being a pain in the patoot, but eventually it will get there, and let's just wait until it comes up. All right, here we are. I've gotten into the game. It was trying to connect to a connection that was not my home connection. It was a FiOS connection, and we don't have FiOS here, so I don't know what that was about. But you come into the game. This is obviously, I've been playing with Jax. I see. Oh, why did I just touch something? I tapped. Okay, so now we're in the game. But if you saw it, it said like figure bonus +7 because I have played with the figure. And once you're in the game, you can set it so you just tap to move around. I've got it set up to be joystick controls. They're down here in the corner. So you just put your thumb, and it'll move to anywhere in the corner as you move your thumb around. And you move the character around. You interact with people, and there's all sorts of little fun things to do in here. Now, the figure itself, the starter pack includes a fusion core. You can buy these separately if you get Ultimate characters. One fusion core will work across multiple characters, so if you get some of the other ones, only him and Mari, I've seen it retail. Apparently there's a Boulder guy, an Everrock, and a Noxon kind of dark wizard guy that are available on Amazon at a markup, and I haven't picked them up yet. But have you had different characters to play in the game, and they have thematic elements like nature or tech or like mysticism, and there's a tree guy, things like that, kind of like Skylanders do. But so this is the fusion core, and it's a backpack. It's a smart backpack for the character, and there's a panel here on the back of his chest, or on the back of his torso. And I like that they include a filler piece. It's not just open, so if you just want the figure, you don't have to deal with it. But you just pop this out and plug the fusion core in, make sure the little tabs connect. And then once that's on, there's a little switch here to turn them on.
All powered up and ready to go.
And he starts talking to you. Now, in this base mode, you've got two buttons here.
Mechanical might. Time to do something
Yeah. And this one over here on the left tends to make him talk, and this one over here will, I'm out of battery power, will make him make a weapon sound. He has no weapons here, and that's because they come in the starter pack. You get his Nitro Hammer, and you can see there's a tab here. You can plug it into either hand. It's a one-handed weapon, so you plug it in.
I should totally invent something like this.
And then in game you get a little animation of him equipping the hammer. Now he has the hammer in game, and when you push the button, why is this button not working? He's clearly interacting, but his button does not seem to want to make him talk. Maybe this is because I'm in the game. I mean, maybe because I'm connected to the game and it's related to that.
Hey, where'd you go?
I'm right here. So if you pick him up and move him around, he'll say things, and you can attach weapons. So here's the Nitro Hammer, and when you're in a level, let me go into an actual dungeon level. And I'm not 100% familiar with the layout of the home base here yet. So you can see Speak to Trianu, who is one of my one of the characters. Here we go. I think down here is where I can go into a dungeon, and we'll just go into a basic dungeon here real quick. You just tap on the portal, and it'll ask you where you want to go. You can go to Steel Tusk Encampment, Ashwood Crater. I haven't unlocked some of these other ones. Giggle Creek requires a different character. Fire Forge requires this guy, but I have to be 24. So let's just go to the Steel Tusk Encampment. It's overrun by the Umbron. You go in. You can choose your difficulty level. Okay. And hit go, and it'll rank you by other players. So you go in here, and let me turn the volume up on this. I've had it down so you could hear him talking, but like, yeah, you see that his hammer just did a noise, and he'll fight, and he'll comment. He'll kind of cheer you on as you fight through the. If your health starts getting low, he'll start complaining about, oh, my health's getting low, or things are going wrong, and you'll get gold and some power-up items. You can craft things for your weapons. But there's the Nitro Hammer in action. He goes in and swings it. If you want a little bit of defensive stuff, since he has, this is a one-handed weapon, there's also the Forge Wall Shield, which you can plug into his other hand.
A great tool for the job.
And now he's got the Forge Wall Shield and the hammer, and he runs around, and that gives him a little extra defense, and it gives him some different abilities here that you can unlock, and you can customize which abilities are present in this menu. Like, there's a ranged weapon, and there's some ranged weapons abilities that I don't have in here right now. He has the bomb strapped to his chest, and he can throw that. He can heal himself in a pinch when that's charged up. And I was making a different point here, but yeah, so now he's got a couple different abilities. You can swap those out. Here's his big hammer strike. Let's see if we can use his big hammer strike here. Bam! Big old hammer strike and kill that dude in one hit. And so it's kind of fun. You swap out the weapons. The other one-handed weapon he has, and to pull these out, there's a latch here. You want to make sure everything has a button or a latch to release it, so you don't just want to pull it out because you could damage the toy. We'll go ahead and pop that out. I'll turn the volume up here on the game so it kind of works in tandem, because but it's neat because when you're playing in the game and you're beating bosses and it's like, oh, that boss should be retired or whatever like this, all the sounds come out of the figure itself. So if you have him sitting on the table next to you while you're playing to swap things out or whatever, it's like you got a little buddy cheering you on, which is kind of fun. His other weapon here is the Spin Blade 3000. It's got a couple of like gear or blade, what's the word, saw blades on it, and you can plug that in and he'll say something about it.
I should totally invent something like this.
We've heard that one before. And now he's got the Spin Blade 3000 in the game, and now he can run around and attack with that. He's still got his melee abilities here since he's got a melee weapon equipped, so he can swing. And then it has a special, like the shield and the weapon each have a special abilities down here on the bottom. I don't know how well this is coming up on the screen, but fight. Here's my shield ability that brings some shields down to help block attacks. You'll see blocked and dodged showing up down here. Heal myself real quick.
That boss should be demoted.
See, that boss to be like, he'll cheer you on as you play, which is just a lot of fun. I was not expecting him to have so much fun with this. His last weapon that I have is his C-Tech cannon, which is a two-handed weapon because he holds it with one hand and then blasts it like this. So in order to fix that, I haven't actually attached this with the shield in place. Let's see what he says. Okay, you just can't. You may not have another weapon or shield equipped. So you could, if you wanted to, you could dual wield the hammer and the blade. We'll go ahead and pull his shield out. Maybe I need to re-equip the cannon with the shield off.
This is just what I need.
And now he's got his big old massive cannon. And he's pretty sturdy even with this big old cannon in his hand. And then you can go in here. I can tap on my backpack, go into my powers, and here are all my abilities right here. Charge shot. That is a ranged weapon. That has been moved into my thing. Explosive rain requires a ranged weapon. If I want that ability, I can tap on it, and I can choose where it goes in my little control panel. And now I've got that ability down here as well. So we'll get this gold here. You can see now he's going to start shooting. He has to get within. He'll move within range automatically. We'll throw a bomb. We'll just drop the bombs here on these guys. Oh, okay, here we go. Oh, here's another boss. Let's go fight this guy. There we go. And now he'll call down some. Come on, do it. I don't know why it's not raining bombs here. Charge him up. We'll heal him up. We'll fight this.
That boss should be demoted.
Well, usually he's a little bit more varied. He doesn't have a whole lot of phrases, but he does have some variation in them. So there's the various weapons he has. And now we can leave the level. Ready to leave? Yep. Yeah, let's go. And we go. And there's my ranking. I was number 2638 because I beat that level in 3:43. I've actually done it in about 1:40, but I haven't been explaining things. And then the last piece of equipment he has is the jetpack fly dynamo. Now you can swap any of these. Like he can use a molten blade. He can use the boulder rocks. Actually the molten blade is the Everrock's toy as well. But there's an opening on the back of the fusion core, and you just take the jetpack, plug it in.
Imagine what I can do with this.
And now he's got a flight pack. And you can go some missions, like if you're not doing a flying mission, it just changes his graphic design here. There's also skins you can get, although I don't know. I know there's some Kickstarter skins. I don't know how to unlock any other ones. Now I got to go back here. I got to find the flight area, which I think is up this way. Yeah, so here's flying missions. And this is where it gets kind of fun too, because not only does he cheer you on, but if you... Oh, I need to go back here, I think. Yeah, I gotta touch this. Is this right? Maybe I just don't have any flying missions available. I should be able to tap this portal and fly. I don't know why. If I touch that, that's just going to show me. Here's where any flight packs I have equipped will show up here. There's originally were going to be several different characters. Like I said, 2 have been released. 2 more are out. I think they're available in Europe and on Amazon for markups, and I don't know if they're going to... I think that they were saying the other day on Twitter their figures are on hold, so there may not be any more. And I don't know why this isn't letting me go into the flight game here. But when you do a flight game, it will... You go through this portal, and when you fly, you actually move the character around up and down to fly. It'll tilt up or down or side to side as you're moving, so you actually use the figure itself as a controller. The card game wise, like I said, the starter pack comes with your hero card, and there are other, like I said, it's a shame there's only like 1 figure per team, because I really like Jax, but like some of the designs on some of the other characters on the cards are really cool as well. There's the card for the Nitro Hammer. You get a minefield. Now you can scan these cards into the game, and it'll give you bonuses with the weapons, and then this is what it'll do in the card game. I have not played the card game yet. So you get a couple of special abilities, the Smart Bomb that we were using. And that's a tribute card that you can scan and share for in-game perks. I'm not entirely sure how that works. It looks like you get some crafting materials using that card. And then each of the individual weapons comes with its own little card that, again, you can play in the card game. Oh, is it? No, he's just talking to me. So yeah, you can use them in the game. In this game, you can use them in the card game, and it'll give you different abilities there as well. So like I said, I don't know why the flying game is not letting me access it. I don't know, maybe I needed to have that on before I came. Well, no, because I did put it on before I came up here. Not sure, but it's pretty fun too. And that's most of what I've learned so far in the game. I'm only level 8. I've only done a few missions, but I've definitely, like I said, I got sucked into the game a lot more than I was expecting to. Toys R Us being with their big sales lately, these guys got cheap, and I finally spent the few bucks to pick up him and his accessories. And I'm glad I did because they're super fun. Now, something you may not have seen yet. Let me close. I wonder if I close the game, if it will let him talk again. Let me close out of it completely here. Is that all this whole time, like all of he's got a whole bunch of clear bits on. Let me see if I can turn the lights off to show it. I don't know how well this is going to work. But turn them off and back on again.
Ready when you are.
He lights up, and he lights up while you're playing in game, although it's harder to see, although I don't know how well that's coming across, but like his cannon lights up. And let me see, maybe refocusing. Well, there we go. So like he's got lights, and like his goggles light up. You can kind of see his chest glowing through the middle. But even that kind of pulses in different ways. But he's got this little grenade right here on his chest. His shoulder armor lights up. The C-Tech cannon lights up. The Flynamo lights up on each side. And then,
Mechanical light.
yeah.
When you got
It's because I was connected to the game that he wasn't talking. This game, the button over here,
I got the tools to break the rules.
gives him
Tyrax
various
technology. Simply the best.
audio quotes, his talking quotes. This button over here will activate weapon flashes and various effects like that. So there's the shield does not light up. Everything else does. I'll show them off real quick too. But that's so even if you don't have the game, like I said, you can play the game without the figure. You can enjoy the figure without the game because just by himself he's pretty cool. I mostly got him in the shield initially because
There's no stopping me.
because I wanted a little Dino Paladin, but and then the hammer. Oh, where's the button? Yeah. And what's cool is like not like you see how the flash kind of moves forward. It kind of does a thump, thump as you swing the hammer, and it also vibrates the figure. There's also a vibration feature on it, which you may hear a little bit of. So there's that. The shield. Let me show up the light off effect, and then we'll get to the last little bit here. So
I'm
there's.
even cooler with this.
So there's several of the effects with the spin blade attached. All right, this is gonna blind you for a second. Let me turn the lights on slowly. Whoa, there we go. So yeah, the reason I bought him was so I could give him this hammer, which does come in the starter set,
Almost.
and then the shield. Because I don't know why, but whenever I think of a paladin, I think of like a maul and a shield. Mostly because that's how I had my character, my paladin Warcraft equipped. But yeah, so that's it. My only minor complaint, and it's minor, is that the way this shield works. Let me go ahead and turn this back off so he's not. And he'll say things as you pick him up. Actually, let me turn him back on because as you pick him up and move him around, he reacts to that as well.
Blast off.
You shake him around, he'll say, "Put me down," or "I'm getting dizzy."
Yeah, check me out.
Well,
Gotta get the tail into it.
yeah, I gotta get the tail into it. Swish, swish. See if I can get him to say something like, "Put me down."
Put me down, man.
Yeah, there you go. You shake him too much, he'll get tired of it. But so yeah, so the shield, it's got the port here, and it's the panels come down as part of this piece on the under half of this piece. So it wasn't an easy thing to fix. So I haven't done it yet. But there's plenty of room here. I really would have liked this if they had made that port come out this way, so you could plug it into his hand like this, so he'd hold it kind of on the side of his arm. I mean, it doesn't go sit back far enough, but in the game he holds it, on the side of his arm like you would normally carry a shield like that. And like, there's clearly room to do it. I wish they had just turned that post 90 degrees So that, but again, these are two-handed. Like you can put the shield in either hand or the hammer in either hand. So I get why they did it, because if they did it this way, then you couldn't plug it in on this side. So now that I think about it, now that I've explained it,
Great tool for the job.
I now I realize why they did it that way. Although it would have been cool if it was just a left-handed weapon and it plugged in over here. I considered, like I said, when I bought it, I considered customizing it because I thought just this post was a separate piece, and I could just crack it here, twist it, and put it back into place with it facing the way I wanted. But this piece actually is this bar plus some flat panels that are, it's all molded, that come in and go inside and form the top and the insides of these posts. So you can't just crack it out and twist it. So it'll just stay like that for now. But yeah, all in all, it's just like I said, the figure by itself is fun if you get the fusion core for the action features, with all the light up effects and the sound effects and the interactivity of moving him around and things. The game itself, the game without the figure it's basic but fun. It's not super in depth. Like I said, I tried the game when I first saw these. I downloaded the game and just played it for a little bit just to kind of check it out. I was like, okay, yeah, it's kind of a Skylanders based game, but I probably have more fun if I had the figure, and I just can't justify spending $70 on it. Now that I have the game and the figure, I totally see the appeal. And if you get to Toys R Us and they still have some before the end of the week, by all means grab them. Although some of the starter packs are even, because of the delay in the figures, the two unreleased ones are going for a little bit more because they're unreleased, and there is still some rarity to that. But the starter packs are going for fairly cheap on Amazon. I think they're like $24 for him, and you can get Mari for $9 or $10. I think I saw it, but it was an add-on only. But you can get them fairly cheaply on Amazon if you can't find them at Toys R Us. But I wish it had taken off more. I wish they'd had more time to get more figures out, because he's like the build figure on the quality is nice. The detail, like the paint apps, like I said, there's the basic oranges, but you see it's not just one solid orange. There's some red stripes. There's some tan all over him. The silver and the blue, and then like the light blue and the dark blue. There's variances in those. The blue eyes, the detail on the head is nice. And even then, it's like it's molded in this darker orange plastic, and he's got the teal, or the kind of beige jaw and head spikes here. But if you look, you can see there's actually like some airbrushed lighter orange to kind of, it gets darker as it gets to the edges, like some airbrushed texture here on the head and the legs. They really put a lot of care and quality into these, the fading blue here on his loincloth. There's just a lot of really cool design choices, and they clearly put a lot of care and effort into the toys. And like I said, I'm glad I didn't just say, you know what, Toys R Us is closing. I don't even at a discount, I don't need to get it. I really am happy I picked him up. He's a cool design, a fun action figure, and the interactivity with the game. Like I said, having a little buddy there just kind of cheering you on, and then you can swap out the weapons and see them show up in game. It's really quite neat. In the flying game, I haven't figured out the flight control, so it's probably good that wouldn't pop up, because I'd make a fool out of myself trying to play this game. But just being able to move the figure around and fly in game is actually pretty neat as well. So there he is. There is Jax. He is the Tyrax team member for the LIGHTSEEKERS game. There is a trading card game. The trading card game appears to be going pretty strong. They're still talking about tournaments. I think a new expansion set's about to come out. They've been promoting on their Twitter feed. So, that may be... I just don't know if I have it in me to get into another collectible card game. I always end up spending a lot of money and then not playing for after a while. I have so many Magic cards right now, and I still play every now and then, but I still have a bunch of old Rage cards and whatever. But really fun, really cool. Definitely something, if you've been eyeing it, and your Toys R Us still has some, believe me, right now is the time to get them. But... yeah, I'm glad I checked it out, regardless of how many more figures they release, whether they're on hold indefinitely or if they permanently end the line. I feel it's a little bit of a shame if it ends that early, because it's really neat. I feel like it came out, and now I'm gonna pontificate on video games for a moment. But like I just feel like Skylanders and a lot of those Toys to Life games kind of saturated and almost burnt out the market shortly before or right around the time these actually hit retail. And so when people were discounting Skylanders toys to clear them out, because if you go to Toys R Us, there's still, I think Skylanders figures were like 20 cents at Toys R Us the other day. There was this push to clean out the glut, and these kind of hit right around that time that I feel like a lot of the interest was waning in the Toys to Life thing. And then so when you see that and you see the $70 price tag, I get why a lot of parents didn't shell out for it. But it's kind of a shame. I feel like if this had hit a little earlier, it would be a much bigger success than it ended up being. Now, granted, I don't have their financial numbers, so I'm not saying it's failing. I don't know that from a business standpoint. I just know that they have put future figures on hiatus currently, which usually does not bode well. But maybe it'll get a renewed interest and pick back up, and they'll get some more figures made. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm really enjoying this. Thank you for indulging me, and I'll see you next time.